Alright, so this is going to be a playthrough of Elder Sign. This is one of my favorite dice rolling games ever. Cthulhu, Mysteries in a Museum, tons of fun. If you've never played it, I'm trying to pare it down a bit. This is just going to be the base set plus the first expansion. I do have every single expansion up to this point, but I wanted to keep this a little bit simple for now. Okay, so we have the whole museum set up here. I left a little space right here for the other worlds if they ever come out, just so that we can all see it kind of at once. You can pretty much see everything as is, minus a few things. Decided to fight Yig. Right, Yig is one of the easier Elder ones. He's not terribly difficult. His ability does kind of suck. In that every time you defeat a cultist or any investigator is reduced to 0 sanity or stamina, you lose an Elder Sign. Elder Signs are not the easiest thing in the world to get, so losing one can kind of suck. He also does wake up relatively quickly. He only has 8 doom slots, which could mean only 8 turns, and then he'll awake. That doesn't always happen, but it could. To fight Yig, I randomly chose Joe Diamond and Jenny Barnes. Here's Joe Diamond with 6 health, 4 sanity. His special ability allows him to spend 1 clue token for 2 rerolls as opposed to just the normal 1. He starts with 1 common item and 1 clue token. He started this game with Whiskey, which allows him to discard the card to regain, or instead of losing 1 sanity. So I have Jenny Barnes here, who has 6 sanity and 4 health. Her ability is that she is able to, at the start of the resolution phase, she can discard any common, clue token, or spell to add the yellow and red dice to her dice pool. She started the game with the museum map, which allows her to discard 1 adventure card along with any monsters on it and replace it with another one. This does not affect otherworld cards. And she also started with the Dread Curse card, which allows her to slot 2 dice on top of the 1 that she can slot. Alright, so I've been taking a look at the board here. We have a lot of hard cards, and we do have 1 card that has an at midnight effect, which is not great. It does add 3 doom tokens to the doom track, but we don't have any monsters in play, and if we're lucky we won't have any monsters when we get going. Alright, well, first things first, before we actually get started, first we have to resolve one of these event cards. Okay, so we had a monster appear, which means that card that we didn't want is not actually going to threaten us. Let's see what monster we got. Alright, so from the monster pit, it looks like we have the High Priest. And looking at monster slots, there's only 1. So he goes here. Unfortunately, he does also lock the red die. So cannot use the red die for now. So this event card actually had another aspect to it. Also, the next time the clock strikes midnight, all investigators will lose 2 stamina. So we'll have to keep our eye out for that as well. We have a few options here. I could use Jenny Barnes' museum map to either get rid of that or get rid of the at midnight effect. Since both of those are kind of troubling at the moment. I do feel it's a bit early to do that, and I don't feel necessarily that we're completely in trouble at the moment. That could change. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have Joe Diamond here go first, and he is going to go tackle this card. And we have 2 problems here. 1, we have to do the tasks in order because of the arrow. 2, we have a monster task that's actually making this whole entire task even harder. So we have to take in mind that there's this penalty if we fail, but there is this reward. It's not a great reward, but it's also not the harshest penalty in the world. I'm hoping to at least kill the monster, and then maybe Jenny can come in here and finish the entire task. Alright, so with those dice results, we can unfortunately not complete a single task. Since the first one we need Terror and Skull, and we only got Skull, no Terror. Thus, I'm going to take the risk here and spend Joe's clue token to give him 2 rerolls. So first reroll. gives us Terror Skull. Alright, so with our very first reroll there, we managed to complete the monster task, which means the monster is defeated. We can reuse the red die if need be, and Joe gains the monster trophy. I'm going to keep the monster there though for now, just to block off that first task so I don't forget. For Joe's second roll. So this is somewhat of a bummer. We cannot complete the scroll task. We do have the magnifying glass that could complete the last task, but we can't complete that now until the scroll task is completed. Joe then is going to focus and keep that die, but he still will lose an additional die. So we only have 2 die left. And we got a scroll. With that roll, we are lucky we get to complete this task. We cannot complete this quite yet. Luckily, we have 2 die left, one of which is locked with the correct result we need. So actually our roll really doesn't matter, but for posterity's sake, we're gonna do it. And we roll a 1. Well, lucky for me, I had already locked a die, so I have the correct result, and Joe Diamond just needs to lose his sanity to complete this task. Normally I would lose that sanity, but since Joe does have a whiskey to avoid losing a sanity, I'm just going to discard it. So Joe had a pretty successful first turn. He got 2 trophies, both worth 1 each, for a total of 2, and 3 clue tokens. We have a new adventure on the board. And now it is Jenny's turn. Currently, I don't feel Jenny has as many options. I don't really want her to tackle any tasks quite yet. I don't want to discard a task either yet, just because it's possible we could get something good here. So I am going to have her go to the Lost and Found. So here at Lost and Found, you roll up to 3 green dice and then consult the chart here for each die result. Alright, Jenny's Lost and Found roll. Alright, with that result, she has to lose either 1 sanity or stamina. She gains 1 clue token and gains 1 common item. Since Jenny has a lot of sanity, I'm going to just have her lose 1. She gains a common item, which will be the brass knuckles, allowing her to add a yellow die to the pool. And she will gain 1 clue token. And that ends Jenny's turn. So Joe, with trophies, could now buy a few things if he wished. But I feel like since he has 3 clue tokens and can do a lot of rerolls, it might be more worth it to try and risk something big. So I'm actually going to have Joe attempt this card. So again, we have to resolve tasks in order. So first of all, we will lose 1 stamina and 1 sanity. We'll roll and try to get 2 scrolls and a skull. So first of all, Joe will take 1 sanity and 1 stamina loss. Let's see if Joe's luck holds up. Unfortunately not quite. So I am going to spend 1 of his 3 clue tokens to do 2 rerolls. And 1 more time. And it looks like Joe's luck holds out. We needed 2 scrolls and skull, which we got, thus completing the first task. Now all we need with 3 die left is 1 terror. Again, hopefully Joe's luck holds up. Unfortunately no, but I am going to spend a clue token again to get 2 rerolls with 3 die, just because I like those odds a lot better than with 2. And there's the terror we needed. Joe appears to be a very lucky man as he got the terror result he needed. He will gain a common item, special item, an otherworld adventure card will appear, and he will gain an ally card. So Joe gains research materials as his common item, a book that allows him to add the red die to his pool for a special item. And finally, he gains Duke as an ally. Alright, lastly, Joe earns 2 trophies from this card. He returns to the entrance, a new adventure comes out, and also an Otherworld adventure. And his turn ends. Final turn of this round, Jenny's going to be a little bit risky. I think I'm going to have her tackle that Otherworld adventure that just came out. It's not the most difficult. The hard part about this is time will speed up as we complete these tasks. Jenny's first roll for the adventure. Jenny was very lucky. She got the 2 scrolls, and we will move the clock forward 3 hours. So this is just moving the clock. Since the clock did strike midnight, it means we have to resolve this. To resolve that, Jenny Barnes and Joe Diamond will both lose 2 stamina. Also, since the clock struck midnight, we have to resolve a new event. So let's see, 1 investigator of the player's choice becomes cursed, and then there's no lingering effect. So Curse is not the ideal card to get. Unfortunately, we will have to add it to someone, and I believe I'm going to give it to Joe Diamond for the time being. So Joe Diamond is receiving the Cursed condition, and he will hold on to the black die as a reminder. We're still pretty lucky here, and with 4 die, we're going to try to resolve that last task. Jenny, on the other hand, was lucky that turn and is able to complete the last task. We will again move the clock forward, but we gain 2 Elder Signs and 2 clues. First, we will move the clock forward, and Jenny is lucky to complete her first adventure and gains a trophy of 2. Since that is the end of Jenny's turn, we will move the clock forward.